I believe we out cheer. 95 people already. Good heavens. Can y'all hear and see me? I see y'all already been talking without me. Rude. Didn't invite me. How is everyone? Happy Friday. We waited for you. What's up, Shantae? Hi, Puddingtane. That's an interesting name. Hey, Vicky, Tiffany. Oh, thank you, Missy. This jacket is from a store that recently went out of business. It's actually the store I shot one of my lookbooks from summer, the one I put up in June where I was on that rainbow wall for all the looks. I shot it right outside of the store where I got this jacket. My friend used to be a manager there and they would have a lot of events. Really fun spot. I'm going to miss it. But all the good stuff goes away, doesn't it? Hey, everybody. Yeah, I look a little bit over the top right now, but that's because I'm about to go out to a birthday party. Actually, it's like a 5-in-1 birthday party. November is a heavy month for me with birthdays amongst my friends. I've got like 5 friends with birthdays this month. So some of them, we are all kind of in the same circles of friends from college. So they do kind of like one big party for a bunch of them. And that's going to be tonight. They do it every year. So I'm going out right after this. I'm going to walk the dog and then I'm going to go to this group birthday party. Already pre-gaming, but I wanted to talk about Mr. Tip Harris. Everyone else seems to be, so I figure I may as well chime in. I didn't even want to like do an edited video on this because it's not worth my time, but I had fun just hanging out with you guys kind of spontaneously last Friday, so I figured why not do another one. Most of my lives are going to be on Patreon, but I know a lot of people can't afford $5 a month, so I don't want to only do lives on Patreon. I still want to do some here on YouTube so that everyone can hang out and we can still have a kiki together. Hey, everyone. Hey, hey, hey. The wine emoji. What's up, our journey? Yes, Hallie or Haley, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's very MJ, even though I am still not fully recovered from leaving Neverland. But yeah, and I'm wearing like tie-dye pants. Like, y'all don't even know. I feel like in a lot of ways, people in LA either have zero style or they just dress like insane people. And I definitely fall into the latter category because I'm from Queens and like people in New York have flavor. So when I got out here and saw that most people have no style whatsoever, I was just like, you must not know about me. So I tend to overcompensate. And then when I see someone else wearing things that are a lot, I'm like, we see each other, now we are friends. Because most of my friends are the other people wearing like military jackets and tie-dye pants as well. Anyway, T.I. So I'm going to assume some people haven't heard about this because I'm usually the last one to hear about things. I always hear about things mad late. But T.I., he wins Troll of the Week. He has the entire internet freaking out at the moment. I haven't watched that much content or read that much content around this because I had a feeling I wanted to either do a filmed video, decided against it because, again, not worth my time, but at least go live. But I didn't want my opinions or even my word choices to be affected before I had a chance to talk to y'all because I saw in my feed, Julesy did a video, I think yesterday, as did Kim for Harriet, or from For Harriet. And I tend to have similar points of view to them on a lot of issues. And I just didn't want their opinions to basically be regurgitated by me. So I made a point not to watch their stuff. But I did hear about T.I. and his tomfoolery through Philip DeFranco, because I watch his show pretty much every day, as well as Hot Topics on Wendy Williams. I know a lot of people don't like Wendy, but whatever messed up stuff she did on the radio back in the 90s, I'm not super aware of because I was just way too young. So I still like watching clips from her show on YouTube and stuff, especially Hot Topics. Anyway, so T.I., the famous rapster, he was on a podcast. I don't know. I'm still unclear if it was like his own podcast. It doesn't really matter. But this was recent. And he said that he goes with his daughter to her annual exams at the gynecologist to make sure that her hymen is still intact. Like basically he's a pussy inspector, self-appointed. the gyno explained to him that there are activities like sports or horseback riding or whatever, even just using tampons. Some people just are born without a, I guess, perfectly sealed. This is so getting demonetized, but whatever. Hymen, and there are many things that can break or partially break the hymen other than sex. I feel like this is a conversation that the doctor should never have had to have. Thank you, Elias. That's very generous. And this is what T.I. said back to the gynecologist. I actually took this quotation so I could read this to you guys. Look, doc, she don't ride no horses. She don't ride no bike. She don't play no sports. Just check the hymen, please, and give me back my results expeditiously. Expeditiously. Now, I guess T.I. spent all that time in jail looking up synonyms for ASAP, because he really seems to like using that word. Like, I watched Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, and I remember him very clearly crowbarring that word in at least once. It was just so unnecessary. Anyway, the point of all this whole hymen story, in my opinion, is T.I. is engaging in outrage marketing. That's just how I'm calling this, because it's been back to back. It started off with him out of nowhere shitting on Iggy Azalea, who hasn't been relevant for years, but for no good reason. He starts talking trash about her. Like, no one cared about Iggy Azalea, and he was going out of his way to keep reminding everyone and saying that she tarnished his legacy. Like, no, you're tarnishing your legacy by bringing up someone who we hadn't even thought about in like 3 years. Like, what are you talking about? And now this. And I think it's all to probably just keep buzz going on Rhythm and Flow and probably some music, because I assume he's releasing or has already released some new music off of the back of Rhythm and Flow, because packaging content is show business 101. So I think it would be weird if he didn't have music coming out with the release of that show. That's just how things work. And now we have this. And I think it's all just promotion. His daughter, by the way, is 18. So she's legally an adult. So he should be ashamed of himself, not just for doing this to her, but for being dim-witted enough to think it's something to brag about. Because he can use all the multisyllabic words he wants and still sound like a fucking dumbass, which is what's happening here. Expeditiously. The violation here, I'm kind of speechless. I heard somewhere, maybe it was on Wendy, that his daughter actually had to shut down comments on her Instagram because creepers were saying that they wanted to take her virginity because of this whole story coming out. Like, all kinds of craziness. Oh my God. Thank you so much. As Good as the First Time, which seems like an eerie screen name for the conversation we're having right now. But yeah, like, all kinds of craziness. That's really generous. Thank you so much, As Good as the First Time. All kinds of craziness have been happening to his poor daughter behind this. And quiet as it's kept, the sentiment behind everything T.I. has said is honestly not unusual. Quiet as it's kept, it's not unusual. The idea that men have ownership over women's and girls' bodies, specifically over their daughters' bodies, is an extremely common one. There's an incestuous undercurrent to the whole thing. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And I think it happens with mothers and sons too, but the whole mama's boy culture is an entirely different kettle of fish. Maybe we'll talk about that another day. But fathers and their daughters, daddy's girls, even the fact that many women refer to their boyfriends or husbands as daddy, I've always thought that was very, very gross and weird. No tea, no shade. If that's your thing, whatever. You like it. Well, I don't love it, but you do you. And it's always been strange to me overall how obsessed fathers are more often than not with the virginity status of their daughters. I mean, past a certain age, it is literally none of their business. And she's 18, so I think that this would qualify. Not that he should have been going to the gynecologist for hymen checks when she was under 18. Like, that's still fucking disgusting and inappropriate and a violation. I remember being at a dinner for like my 5th grade graduation or something. And I guess my family was out with one of my school friends' families or something. We were at dinner to celebrate. It was a long time ago, so it's hard to remember. And my dad was talking to one of the other adults. And the other adult asked my dad, when are you going to let TT start dating? 15, 16? I was probably like 9 or something, 8 or 9. And my dad said, and I remember this verbatim, he said, she can start dating after she's married. Okay. So even being 8 years old or whatever I was at that time, I remember thinking even then that it was really fucking weird that my dad was expressing such an obvious personal stake in my love life, even though I was at an age where I was still probably like, ew, boys are gross. I mean, not really. I don't think I ever had that phase. I've always been whatever. Like, I've always been a tomboy, so I don't think I had that phase. Anyway, fathers feeling like they should have control over the love and sex lives of their daughters is not weird, but it should be. Or I should say, it's not uncommon, but it should be. One thing I've heard a few people say is that T.I.'s behavior is going to make his daughter a freak in the streets. Like, that's equally disgusting. Leave her alone. Leave that young lady alone. She has suffered enough having to deal with this because it's beyond unacceptable. And the person who is wrong is T.I. So stop creating this diversion of making the conversation about her. He has very likely traumatized her, not just from inspecting her virginity, but from making this shit public. He is wrong, not her. And stop making assumptions about her because of her dad being sick in the head. Like, people are preemptively slut-shaming her because her dad is a disgusting asshole. It just really pisses me off. The sense of entitlement to women and our bodies that so many men have is honestly terrifying. Years ago, I was reading an article on some blog, I think it might have been Jezebel, where a writer went undercover in some incel message boards. And the kinds of discussions that these men were having were seriously terrifying. Like, real talk, this is the shit that makes me not ever want to leave my house. But T.I. and the things that he has said, again, I think he's making this public in the name of all publicity being good publicity. But I also think what he's saying is real and true. Like, I don't think he's making up that he did this. He really is this gross. And I overheard probably also on Wendy, because I haven't watched that much content about this discussion. But I think Wendy was saying that his son started activity. I'm probably going to get demonetized, but you guys know what I'm saying. At like 14 years old, and T.I. had no problem with that. He probably attaboyed him. As much as I try not to indulge in the echo chamber of buzzwords and catchphrases in the arms race to wokeness that seems to happen on social media and on the internet as a whole, I have to say that this right here, this is what people are talking about when they say toxic masculinity. Thank you, Alicia. That's really generous. I started to say Emerson with generous. I was like, that's really Jemerson. Yeah, exactly. Because that doesn't even sound legal, because at the age of 18, he has to, I guess the daughter was just pressured into giving consent for those results to be shared by T.I. literally being there at the appointment. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on the whole thing. He's gross. I already thought that he was an entire clown just based off of his behaviors over the past several years. And then watching him on Rhythm and Flow, I was just like, who does this guy think he is? Like, I was considering doing a review on that show, and I decided against it because there didn't seem to be much interest. But a lot of my notes were just wondering, who does T.I. actually think he is? But again, what he has done and said, sad as it is not unusual. It's just kept quiet. And I know this not just from the men who I've encountered in my life, but even just from some of the weird, insane comments that I get from men on some of my videos, in particular on my video called I Don't Want Kids and No, I'm Not Going to Change My Mind. Like, I tend to not really check comments on old videos anymore because it just becomes too overwhelming. But I remember not too long ago, I had some guy, he said something like, women can't reproduce, only men reproduce. Just like crazy shit. Like, there are really like insane guys out in these streets. Like, ladies, watch your fucking backs. And there goes Ray Ray. Anyway, those are my thoughts. How y'all's doing? What do y'all think? I saw the comments were going fast, but I wanted to kind of like unload all of my thoughts before I actually got into this. He is the clown. The S1 Pimp Afro. He is indeed. Yeah, I mean, Shantae, I even without the financial angle being used to manipulate and assert power and dominance, there's just the fact that that's her dad, you know? 18 or not, it's not like there's a mental switch over that happens immediately when you turn 18. I just make the point of, under the law, that's when you are legally recognized as an adult. So even he should be aware that the doctor should be under no position to give him this information. He shouldn't be attending her appointments with her. She is old enough to take her ass to her own appointments. And the doctor, hasn't he like violated something by even sharing? I mean, again, I guess if the daughter gave her consent, whatever, but that consent was given under duress, in my opinion. The ladies on the Real sided with T.I. Oh my God. Atomic Arch, if he violated the Hippocratic Oath. See, that's what I was wondering, because I haven't looked at the Hippocratic Oath in a really long time. I mean, we always remember the do no harm stuff, and I feel like even just sharing that information is doing harm, because again, it's none of his fucking business. Sounds like The Real. Books are my social life. Listen, I don't think I've ever seen an entire episode of The Real, but they always seem to be caught up in some mess. Every time I hear about them, it ain't good. The ladies on The Real are idiots anyway. I agree with you, Margie's daughter. Whatever she signed, it should not be admissible. You know, that was essentially coerced because she was pressured. That's not a normal situation where she would be able to make a reasonable. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, it's going in my head. Reasonable decision for herself. I agree with you, Shanette. Obsessing about your kid's virginity is sick. I mean, everyone blooms at their own time. All you need to do, or all you should be doing as a parent, is making sure that they've had the talk and they understand how to be safe and all that stuff. But that is not your decision to make, because I might have been a late bloomer, but not everyone is. And that is up to you as an individual. This is going so fast, this chat, you guys. Oh my gosh, I can't even keep up. Yeah, Tanya, I agree. He's an idiot. And like, he's at least temporarily ruined her life. Like, why would you broadcast this information? Obviously, this is going to affect her. And like, a lot of people, not just guys, are gross, and they're going to start harassing her and bombarding her on social. Like, what are you doing? What an idiot. I agree with you, Mary. And it's not just daughters' bodies. I mean, as I said, the mama's boy conversation is a real one. I got an ex who was a mama's boy, and girl. Hallie or Haley Lynn, I don't know that T.I. did still have a platform until recently. He kind of inserted himself into the news cycle by popping off with moronic remarks like such as these, as well as the Iggy Azalea stuff. And again, how convenient that this is all happening when he's got a new show on Netflix. Coincidence? I think not. Exactly, Graciela. It can get dangerous real fast. Like, this is no joke. You know, people are crazy. People get doxxed. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Zaya, you must have come in late. I specifically made a point not to watch too much content around this. I wanted to get my thoughts out first before I watched people like Kim or Julesie's videos, because I didn't want to internalize their thoughts before I shared my own, because I tend to have similar opinions. Thank you so much, Akila. That's very nice. I tend to have similar thoughts, and I don't want to be in a position where I'm inadvertently repeating things they've said. But I did see her in my feed. I'm probably going to watch her video now that I've given my whole spiel on this. I agree, Chantrice. We've all been kids. We know you do what you're going to do. That's the way it is. And just going back to my earlier point, I really hate that people have been kind of speculating on what kind of freak she's going to, freak in the sheets because of shit her dad is doing. Like, no, she's not the one who fucked up. Leave her alone. Stop preemptively assuming like she's going to be some crazy sex maniac because of this. Like, the crazy person is T.I. Leave her the fuck alone. He is fetishizing her, Noor, because I mean, it's a very quiet as it's kept. It's a very incestuous dynamic. The idea of him having a stake in her virginity is weird. It's creepy and it's weird. It's not his business at this point. Man, oh man, Brittany, you're not wrong. Brittany KO1. I mean, that's strong talk, but I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, Graciela, I don't know that I've heard of him kind of responding to the backlash yet. But if anything, I think he's just going to either say nothing or double down. Like, I don't think he's going to recant at all. He's not smart enough for that. He can learn all the fancy vocabulary he wants. He's not a smart man. Thank you, Professional Alias. Listen, I mean, the Rodney Reed execution, as far as I know, I've signed a couple of the petitions for it. I don't know how effective that is. I have not looked at the news for that. Oh my God, Cece, you're always so generous. Thank you so much. That's I see you and I respect you. Thank you, Cece. Oh my God, thank you, Ella Elise. Sorry about that. These new like GIFs that are coming with these super chats or something else. I have not seen this feature before, but Cece and Ella, you guys are too generous. Just jumping back to Rodney Reed really quickly. I've signed some of the petitions, but cynical as it sounds, I knew that was more or less an exercise in futility. Thank you, Stacey Michelle. That's really nice. Right, Serenity? Y'all are really showing up for me. Y'all are paying for my drinks tonight. No, actually, my plan is to take my super chats and sock them away to reinvest in my channel, but that's another story. Thank you, Nia. Thank you. You guys are really putting wind in my sails tonight. Thank you. Really filling up my tip jar. Rodney Reed, the celebrity involvement gives me hope. because I knew that that was the kind of thing that will actually hopefully make a difference. Like, I can sign all the petitions all day, and so can you. It probably isn't going to fucking matter. So I am bolstered by the fact that celebrities are speaking out on this. And I'm hoping that that will actually move the needle and save this man's life, because this is just another, I mean, we hear about these cases more and more these days, but these are just the ones we hear about. Imagine how many we don't know about, of other people rotting away in jails, or who have already been executed, or who are still on death row, whose names we haven't heard yet. I mean, this is nothing new. And I'm just hoping that the clout aspect will actually, I mean, that's one thing that has been a good byproduct of social media. As much as I bemoan social media and how much, and no matter how much I think it's actually really harmful for self-esteem and just our minds as a whole. This is another conversation too, along with mama's boy syndrome. I do think that certain good things can come of it. I mean, you guys know I'm not a big fan of the Kardashians, but Kim Kardashian, I know, is one person who was involved in publicizing this case and helping to get word out. So we'll see what happens. I haven't actually looked at any updates in the past day and a half or so, because yesterday I was working on the video I uploaded this morning that almost none of y'all watched. Y'all messy. But that was a very long, just working on YouTube stuff kind of day. So I was kind of in a media blackout. And then the day before that, I was working on work stuff, and then working on that video, doing the prep for it, because I filmed and edited yesterday. And today I've been busy as hell too. I've been working on some content. I had a conference call. So I've been in a media blackout kind of off and on the past almost 3 days now. So I don't know if progress has been made other than hearing that more celebrities are getting involved with Rodney Reed. Right. JCJ, stop raising men that you don't want your daughters to date. I mean, I don't think T.I. would want his daughter to date a man like him, because he's trash. So that in itself is another weird element and dynamic within this whole issue. It's all very, very messed up. He shamed her for being a virgin in the same interview. Wow. Just when you think someone can't get any more dense, here we are. I don't know what else he said, but I'm just, you know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Thank you, Bond Blue. Yeah, it's, what am I wearing? I'm wearing, it's in the description box, but I'm wearing that Becca stick highlighter. And also I'm greasy. So those two things, glow. Gorgeously Gabby, we tend to date our most difficult parent. Mine are both difficult. So he called her boring for being a virgin. Arise. That daughter, I think that relationship is going to have a lot of healing to do, because this is just the shit we know about publicly as of this week. Excuse me. Carbonated beverages. Sorry, it's not very classy. Can you imagine all the shit that has gone on behind the scenes throughout her life that we will never know about? He is a mess. He is a whole mess. Faith is drinking her Maker's Mark. Faith, in my kitchen, I have some of my butternut squash bourbon cooking. It's about 6 days in, so it's ready to go, but I like to let it go at least a week. But yeah, I use Maker's, and I'm making 2 handles, which I think is a gallon. So I'm going to be set for the autumn. Oh my God, Mawa, I heard that. Yeah, the podcast, I don't know if it's his own podcast, but he has hosts on it or what, because, you know, he's a tycoon, so he might have to have other people who can do the podcast maybe when he's unavailable or whatever. Cece, you're just balling out because you always are dropping like mad coins on me. Um, you and everyone else. I was looking through the comments on that video this morning, and Aaron was just like, I'm watching this as I'm eating cake. It's just like, listen, you're living your best. I eat cake too. You know, I want to have it all. But I'm still going to go to the gym. I went to the gym today and I did fucking upper body, my least favorite. Oh, those? Yeah. I got those this morning. Those are my first Jordan 1s, or first Jordans, period. That's the Melody Ehsani collab with Jordan Brand. And apparently these are, not apparently, I knew they would be highly coveted. But let me tell you something. These fucking sneakers right here, to be able to purchase them, I had to enter a raffle, okay? And I had to stand online for at least an hour just to enter the raffle. And then I found out a day or two ago that I won. I won to be eligible to buy something? Fuck this world. And but I was still excited because Melody Ehsani, I often get questions about my jewelry. I imagine if I were to search my own channel for the phrase Melody Ehsani, something like 95% of my videos would populate because I'm wearing her jewelry, whether it's rings. These are all Melody Ehsani rings. I'm not wearing her earrings today, but I'm usually wearing rings from her in my videos. People always ask me about my jewelry, and 9 times out of 9, it's Melody Ehsani. I love her jewelry. She also does clothing collaborations. She used to have a deal with Reebok where they did a few collections. I purchased from, I think, all of the releases that she did with Reebok. And then this, her Melody Ehsani Jordan 1s just came out today. They sold out online immediately. And she had an event at her store this morning. I met a subscriber. I'm not going to say your name because I don't know if you want me to, but hey, girl. They had a guided meditation, which I almost didn't want to go to. It was at 8 in the morning, which I'm usually up by then anyway. That's not crazy early for me. Thank you, Red Velvet Rabbit. Oh, thank you so much. But I've been wanting to get into meditation for years because I hear it's really good with just helping with mental clarity, enhancing your creativity. And my creativity is my livelihood. I mean, that is my source of income, is my ability to be creative. And considering that we only use like 9% of our brains or whatever, meditation can help you with that. But there's so many different types of meditation. It can almost seem overwhelming and inaccessible to get started. So it's something that I've been putting off for at least 5 years. So it's just like, whatever, let me go to this guided meditation event, pick up my sneakers and see how it goes. And I am so glad I went. It was one of those things where you always see this in the comments under like bullshit inspirational quotations on Instagram where people are like, I needed to read this today. But I was that bitch this morning. After that meditation and just the talk from Melanie, it was really, really good. And I got my sneakers. And I'm really excited to like have them on the day of release because I know a lot of people are like stalking those things. So I feel really, really happy about that. And I feel like I've wanted Jordans literally for as long as I can remember, but they're so expensive. Like these were $130, but I feel like this was worth the wait. Like these were the Jordans for me to get. I almost can't bear to wear them, but I don't want to be precious with them. I think when we buy nice things for ourselves, we can often be like, oh, I don't even want to use it. But things like that are made to be enjoyed. Thank you, Amu. How's it going? It's going great. It's going great for a Friday, especially. I'm sure they're selling them on eBay for, I mean, I don't know how much they're going to go for because there is going to be another release. They're sold out on Melody's site, but they're going to do more on the Sneakers app. And I think that they're going to have more stock on Sneakers than they had on Melody's site. But I don't know how many pairs were made. And I know the whole subculture of sneakerheads and Jordans is a big deal. And then this is a subculture within a subculture of women designing Jordans. I think Melody is maybe, I think there's been under 5 women who have ever designed Jordans. So it's a big thing. And she's already got her own brand name recognition. So these have been a thing. If you guys want to see a closer look, I'm not going to go get them, but I did put some close-up shots on my Instagram stories if you care at all. Or you can just go to Melody's site and look at them, melodyehsani.com. Isabel, I mean, I'm not like ADHD for real, but my mind does not quiet I'm always thinking about something. I even found myself getting distracted a few times during the guided meditation. But I think that, like anything else, like yoga, it's a practice and it's something that you get better at and get more efficient at the more you do it. Thank you, Cyrita. These little GIFs are something else. I have never seen these before. My goodness. Oh, thank you, Faith. Yeah, likes do help. I don't usually ask for likes unless I'm using it more as like a poll, like, oh, if you want to see me do blah, 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 hit the like button, that kind of thing. But I don't know. Asking people to like, I don't know how much it works. I feel like as a power user on YouTube, I know if I'm liking a video based on how I feel about it, not because someone tells me to. You feel me? But thank you. I think that's nice that you're encouraging it. That's cool, Christine. Accept the distractions and bring back focus. At the event, I guess one of the other raffle winners, she happens to lead guided meditations at a place here in LA. And I had asked a question about just how Melody got started with meditation and if she had any suggestions. And she was like, well, there's a ton of apps out there. I was just like, I know, that's the problem. Like, it's like, if someone were to say, oh, I really want to get into listening to podcasts. And then someone's just like, yeah, there's a ton of them. Do some research. I'm just like, I kind of get that already. Like, I knew that part. But one of the ladies there at the event was just like, actually, if you're interested, I would love to get you a comp class at the place where I work. It's near here. So I'm going to check that out because I feel like it would be good for me. Especially, I've had a lot of change in my life. I mean, a lot, just the fact that there's 745 of you here watching this live right now is surreal to me because that is not my life 6 months ago. I didn't have 100,000 subscribers. And, I'm grateful. Thank you, Brilissa, one. I'm grateful for the growth, but it's also caused me a little bit of unsureness and anxiety and trepidation and even doing videos now, because now with more eyes on you, you feel a little bit more like, oh no, like I can't just do my thing anymore. But on the other hand, doing my thing is what got me to where I am now. So I don't know. I just kind of have to trust my gut, take the L's when you guys aren't feeling a video like the one I put up today. Taking the L on that one. Thank you, Fila. I remember your name. #1 fan. I remember your name. So you are one of my OGs for sure. You've been here since well before that 100K benchmark. I agree with you, Vanessa. I mean, trying not to be self-righteous or anything, I guess, about it. But I've said this many times as these changes started to happen on my channel, as I stopped trying to guess what people wanted to see. That's when my channel started to grow. I was just like, I'm just going to do what I feel good about doing rather than trying to anticipate what people want to see. And those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And that has been largely true. And not every video is going to get, crazy numbers. That's okay. But I have noticed that as the bar of success has risen, where before I would be thrilled if a video got 5,000 views. But now I'm like, oh, this video's tanking. It got 5,000 views. And I don't want to have that mindset because I should be grateful that more than 0 people clicked on any video at all. So I'm trying to keep myself centered. And I think part of what helps with that is that this is not my job. I'm lucky that I earn money from this, but I don't have to stress myself too much about the numbers because this is not my only income. Sometimes it is if freelance work is slow, but this is not what I do. This is what I enjoy doing, but having that separation of this still being a hobby that I am blessed enough to still generate some income Similarly, my mom is like a crafter, so she likes making all sorts of different like cards, like handmade cards and like people's wedding invitations and stuff like that. Like she likes doing that, and then she makes money from it. I feel like this is my craft, is just making YouTube videos, sharing my thoughts on things, sharing my opinions, talking to you guys, building a community, that sort of thing. So I'm just lucky that I make more than $0 for that, and I shouldn't look at any video as a failure. It's just kind of an indication of what you guys are enjoying. That's all. So I have to kind of keep giving myself that talk every time a video doesn't get like big numbers. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, I mean, I am, I guess, a content creator full time. Like that is what I do. I'm a writer director. Right now, I'm doing some development consulting for a show for YouTube, believe it or not, that is not mine. A production company sold a show to YouTube, and I am helping them to develop and produce the show. So that's what I do. And that, I think, carries over. It's different, though, because in my career, I'm not the one editing videos. I hire editors. They show me cuts. I give them notes. I tell them what changes I want, whatever. And then we submit to the network, and then they give us their notes. And so it goes. So this is a completely different experience where I do everything. You know, like I don't operate camera in my career. I tell the cameraman, the DP, what I want. Sometimes I'm literally like moving his or her body to get the shot I want, you know? So it's a very different experience. It definitely has raise the demands on me to learn more technical aspects of storytelling and content creation, because I'm very averse to technical stuff. I don't enjoy that. I'm actually a bit juvenile about it in a way where I feel like the technical stuff erodes the creativity. I'm like, no, that's for the techie people. I'm just a hippie and I write. You know what I mean? It's very stupid mentality. But that has largely been the way I've operated for a long time, where I just would happily be at home with my glass of wine and a blank screen, and I fill the page. That's my job. I don't even particularly love physical production, but it has to be done. You can't just write shows and never film them. So it's been very interesting to take on the jobs of so many things that I don't have to do in my career to do the things that I do on this channel. And it's been cool to level up my skills in those regards as well. Hey, Shauna. Fila, you know, I'm a busy woman right now. Booked and busy and blessed. That seems to be the hashtag of the month. I keep seeing that. And I love to be busy. I feel so good when I've had a productive day or a productive week. If I'm not productive, and we all need rest. Sometimes it's not good to be productive because you do need to recharge, but I feel my best when I feel like I've done a lot of things. So I've gotten a lot of accomplished. A lot of accomplished. Wow. Not going to stop though. Zaya, I think the new Tati palette looks beautiful. Not going to lie. Cece. Cece's got jokes tonight. Listen, I'm not really butthurt about that video being a slow burn, because I do feel like, generally speaking, the fitness reviews are evergreen content because people are searching for that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily something that you see in your feed and just like, oh, I can't wait to watch that, unless you're super into fitness. That almost, from a more strategy standpoint, is more about juking stats for search than content for people who are already in my family. You know what I mean? But that's okay. I like doing that kind of content because fitness is a huge part of my life. So it's always going to be there for the people in my family who do love it, and for the people who aren't in my family and who just want to get a review. But going back to that Tati palette, Fila, that you were asking about, I think that Tati palette looks beautiful. Not going to lie, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't need it, first of all. I mean, it's nothing new. I do think it's kind of cool that she has the different finishes and a similar color story within each column or whatever it is. But I don't support people who support Jeffree Star, okay? And that's that on that. I think they've unfriended each other because YouTube is fucking high school. And quite frankly, Tati is too doggone grown to be engaging in this mess with people unfollowing each other. Like, give me a break. But I will give it to her. Tati's got an excellent work ethic. I respect her hustle. I do not respect when she has talked about how she uploads so much like anyone asked her to do it. Like, no one asked you to do it. You did it because you chose to and because you like money. Like, uploading that much generates a lot of money for you. We're not dumb. So good for her for having the work ethic, but she's not some, martyr for doing that. But the palette is gorgeous. I think it's probably very nice. I believe she has glitters in there that are not eye safe, and I'm really fucking tired of that. I don't know why people keep doing that. ColourPop, they keep putting these pressed glitters in these palettes that aren't eye safe. I like having my vision. I paid a lot for it. I got the LASIK. So get the fuck, Ray Ray, you're not supposed to be going in that kitchen. What you doing, baby? Dog. I know. I got to take her out for her WALK pretty soon, so I should be wrapping this up. But no, I will not be buying the Tati palette, to answer your question, but I do think it's beautiful, but I don't need it. And I don't support it because I don't support people who fuck with Jeffree Star, even if they no longer do, because we knew by the time that she was fucking with him who he was. So she does not get a pass from me. Ray Ray Faith says, hey. Kim comes, yes. I got some butter. You can't see it, but it's brewing on my counter. If you want to know how to make it, I actually did an Instagram story on it quite a while ago, and then I saved it to my highlights. So if you go to my Instagram page, you'll be able to watch it. You don't have to be one of my followers to view my stories because I don't give a fuck. So just go to my Instagram page. It should be linked in the description box under this video, and go to the story highlights. And it should be called Butternut Bourbon or something like that. And you'll be able to see how to make it step by step. Oris, the Patricia Bright palettes. There's two. I don't think I'm going to buy those simply because I don't need them. They don't especially appeal to me either. I don't like big palettes like that. This is a complaint that I feel like a lot of YouTubers are making of late, so I'm not the only one. It seems to be a very ordinary opinion, but I don't care for big palettes. And Patricia, I've supported past collabs of hers, so I don't feel obligated to support every single one. I supported her t-shirts when she had t-shirts. I bought her MAC lipstick. I don't feel like I need to support every single one. Patricia's doing fine financially, so I don't feel pressured to support every single collab, especially when it's going to be something that I literally would not use. So I'm proud of her and happy for her, but I don't think I'm going to be buying those palettes. Yeah, Isabel, I think that the colors look nice, but I don't like big palettes like that. I remember I was watching her video where she was doing the reveal, and I was in my mind just kind of like cropping out sections and creating smaller palettes that I would have much preferred to see. And I know they're inexpensive, relatively speaking, because they're Makeup Revolution, but I just don't need them. I don't need them. Fly Girl, I'm not going to watch a new Harriet Tubman movie. I was still on the fence about it last weekend when we did that Friday live last week. I'm not going to see it. Decided against it. I heard enough about that movie to feel like I don't need to see it. You know what I'm saying? Between the issues with the anti-Black American sentiment and all of that. And I think I watched Kim from For Harriet. I watched her review. I think she did a live where she talked about it. And she said that the idea that it's a white savior movie isn't quite accurate in her opinion. But even aside from that, I don't feel like I need to see that movie. I just don't. Haley, you were cropping sections for the Tati palette. Yeah. Same thing. It's another one. I think because each column is monochromatic in Tati's palette, it feels less overwhelming. But to Tati's credit, I've seen a couple people using that palette on camera, and when they finished, their eye looks looked very much like Tati, like very much like the kind of makeup that Tati wears. And I think that's pretty remarkable considering her makeup is not unique. Like she does very wearable colors. I hate that term because anything is wearable if you wear it. I mean, look at how I'm dressed right now. It's wearable because I'm wearing it. But to Tati's credit, something about the textures and tones in that palette, when someone's wearing it, I feel like I would be able to identify it as her palette even without knowing it, because it's so on brand, the looks that come out of that palette with what she does. So I think that's pretty remarkable. Again, I feel like it's really easy to have black and white opinions about people, but I try to avoid that. And I have complicated feelings about Tati. I have a lot of respect for her, and then I have a lot of problems with her. And that's just that on that. Yeah, Isabel. I heard about the Black Bounty Hunter. I think they made up quite a lot of things in that film. And yeah, I can't remember what Kim's thoughts were about the Black Bounty Hunter, but I think the most important takeaway I got was that she didn't agree that even with adding that character that wasn't real, she didn't agree that it was a white savior narrative. Regardless, I am watching it. Like I just don't feel like I need that in my life. And that's it. Bigger, long. I'm definitely not watching that. Arise, as if it weren't already confirmed. I'm definitely not watching that now. Good God. Gabrielle, Parasite. That's been on my list. I don't know much about it, but that usually makes me more drawn to a movie. And Gabrielle, I better see you Sunday on our Patreon Live. Stacy, bigger. What were they thinking? Oh, good God. Oh, Chris, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, She Tried It used to be one of my more successful series, but I guess that rose has wilted. Oh, Isabel, I haven't forgotten about Midsummer. I got to get to a red box or something. Oh, interesting. So, Ashley, you're saying there's more to this white savior narrative. Well, I guess I'll never know, will I? Yeah. I mean, Django is a Quentin Tarantino movie. The first thing I thought of, though, when people were talking about the Black Bounty Hunter was, I bet like none of y'all have seen this movie, but it's like one of my all-time favorite movies. It's called Rabbit Proof Fence. It came out probably like 10 years ago at this point, but it is about two Indigenous girls in Australia who were basically sold into child slavery and escape and like basically travel all the way across the country to go back home. And the guy tracking them is also an Indigenous man of color. It's kind of a similar thing. He's hired by like the white like slave owner guy. I haven't watched the movie in a long time, but that was the first thing I thought. I was just, that kind of sounds like Rabbit Proof Fence. Oh, Marisol, you seen it? It's such a good movie. Yeah. I need to rewatch Rabbit Proof Fence. It's so good. Oh my God. I have heard that Catcher Freeman comparison, Fly Girl. Yeah. I love the Boondocks so much. I can't even show you guys my phone right now because it's dead, but my wallpaper is Huey and Riley, and it has been for like 5 phones in a row. Like I just keep putting the same wallpaper of Huey and Riley on my phone. Yeah, No Way 555. I watched Rabbit Proof Fence probably within the first year it came out, and then I watched it several times, you know, over the next couple of years, but I haven't watched that movie recently at all. I'm pretty sure I still have it though. I think before I stopped buying movies because I realized I don't watch DVDs. I don't know why I would ever buy them at this point. I can see it over there. I still have it. If you've never seen Rabbit Proof Fence, look it up. I recommend it. Hereditary. I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out. Okay, Midsummer, Parasite, Hereditary. They're going up here. Ray Ray is getting impatient. Yeah, I probably Ray, I'm not gonna roll over your tail. She gets so paranoid when I roll this chair. Come here. She knows it's time, so I'm gonna have to bid you guys adieu. Well, I do like my dark and disturbing movies, Ellie. You're not talking me out of it. You guys are giving me like homework. I got 3 movies to watch, and we're doing a book club. Sheesh. Oh, Julia G, you have no idea. These pants. Instagram got me. Let me show you guys for real. These pants are. I look like an idiot, but like I feel happy, so it doesn't matter. These are like tie-dye harem pants. Like I look like MC Hammer, and then I'm gonna put on my Jordans over there. Yeah, I feel like my fashion is verging into cry for help, but I feel happy. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because I have to give her her bathroom break, and then I gotta head out to this birthday party, which is apparently a cash-only bar. I'm actually fine with that. Cash is king. I pay for everything with cash whenever possible because I like my purchases to be anonymous. I'm that person. I'm that paranoid. So yeah, I will bid you guys adieu. Thank you for hanging out with me for this spontaneous live. If you are watching this, there's a decent chance for my Patreon fam. I know we're small, but we're mighty. And I know you guys are my ride or dies for real, for real. So if you're in my Patreon fam in the notification squad or ride or die tiers, we're doing a live this Sunday at 4 p.m. I think I said. Whatever, just check Patreon Sunday morning. I recommend you download the Patreon app so that you can get a notification when I post the link Sunday morning to our private live stream. We're going to do this again. We're going to kiki. It'll be a little bit less hectic because there's going to be less of us. And I hope to see you then. And then for the rest of you guys, if you can't afford Patreon, please do not fret. We will still be doing lives on here as well whenever I feel spontaneous, which is frequent. I'm a very spontaneous person. So thank you for hanging out with me on this fine Friday evening and indulging me in my rants about pussy inspectors. And I will see you guys sometime soon. Never trust anyone with a Morphe code. Bye.